Hello, I am so glad that you have chosen to join us today for this webinar that addresses the high quality pre-kindergarten component of curriculum. My name is Tamala Olsby and I am an education specialist at the Early Childhood Education Division of the Texas Education Agency. Today we're going to do an overview of all of the high quality pre-kindergarten components that are referenced in HB3. And then we will dive into the specific component of curriculum. We'll look at what is in statute, what does it mean? We'll look at the instructional materials list and look at a frequently asked question. And then we will end our time together looking at some resources and support that you may need. So let's get going. So let's briefly look at all of the high quality components that are referenced in HB3. This slide states all of them: curriculum, student progress monitoring, teacher qualifications, teacher-student ratio, family engagement, program evaluation, and data reporting. The high-quality components that are referenced in HB3 are a requirement of every public pre-kindergarten program within Texas serving eligible 4-year-old students. This includes districts, charter schools, and districts of innovation. So the focus today, again, is on curriculum. This slide will show you the statute and commissioner's rule. It will give you references so that you can look those up if you want to afterwards, so that you'll know that all of the information provided today comes from one of those three sources. Again, everything that is spoken about today in this webinar applies to districts, open enrollment charters, and districts of innovation. And again, there are references there to statute to show that. So let's delve into curriculum. This slide shows what is in statute from 29.167, and it says, a school district shall select and implement a curriculum for a pre-kindergarten program that, number one, includes the pre-kindergarten guidelines established by the agency. Number two, measures the progress of students in meeting the recommended learning outcomes. And number three, does not use national curriculum standards developed by the Common Core State Standards Initiative. So that is exactly what is in statute. So what does all of that mean? Simply spoken, what it means is that the curriculum used for eligible 4-year-old students in pre-kindergarten should align with the 2015 Texas pre-kindergarten guidelines. You might be wondering what those guidelines have in them. Well, remember, they're much like the TEKS, except for they're not TEKS. They're called the Texas Pre-Kindergarten Guidelines, and there are these 10 domains in them: social emotional development, language and communication, reading, writing, math, science, social studies, fine arts, physical development, and technology. And as you can see here, there is a focus on the whole child within the Texas Pre-Kindergarten Guidelines. One of the responsibilities of the State Board of Education is to review curriculum to see if it aligns with state standards. Because we're talking about pre-kindergarten today, that means they have reviewed curriculum that was submitted to them to see if it aligned with the Texas pre-kindergarten guidelines. And the current instructional materials list includes these 6 curriculum that are listed here on the slide. DLM, OWL is what most people call Opening the World of Learning, Big Day for Pre-K, High Scope, Frog Street, and Teaching Strategies. So if your district, charter, or district of innovation is using one of these 6 curriculums within your pre-kindergarten program of eligible 4-year-olds, then you can rest assured that you are meeting the requirements in this high-quality component. So let's look at a frequently asked question. Our district has been using a locally designed curriculum for over 20 years. Do we have to change our curriculum? And the answer to that is maybe. So if your district's locally designed curriculum aligns with the 2015 Texas Pre-K guidelines, then you would be meeting the regulations requirements. So it would be prudent to carefully review that locally designed curriculum on a periodic basis to make sure that it is aligning with the guidelines. This is short and simple today, and so I wanted to give you some resources and support in case you are needing them. So on this page, there is a link to the Texas Pre-Kindergarten Guidelines. There is a link to the instructional materials list that was referenced in today's webinar. There is also a link to the Children's Learning Institute. They have many webinars on the Texas Pre-K guidelines and how to implement them within the classroom. And then, of course, your Education Service Center is a great resource if you are looking for resources on how to implement curriculum correctly with pre-kindergarten age children. And last but not least, there is a link to our early childhood program self-assessment. Curriculum is one of the components that is addressed. This last resource is a self-assessment document to assess the quality within your pre-kindergarten program. And it, of course, curriculum is one of the things that it assesses. As always, if you need assistance in any of these high-quality components, we would invite you to visit our website. The link is on this slide. And you may email or phone any questions at hqpk@tea.texas.gov. As you can tell, this was an abbreviated version of the other webinar that is within our website. The other webinar goes through much more aspects of quality in terms of curriculum. This is kind of the short and sweet version. We are always ready and willing to help you, so please don't hesitate to contact us if you need more information. I always like to leave the webinars with a quote, and so here's the one for today. This quote is from a Dr. Kelly Meyer, who is a professor at the Minnesota State University. It says, curriculum is content, but when contextualized, it becomes alive for students. Using effective curriculum is a great way to build the quality of our Texas pre-kindergarten programs. Thank you for joining us today, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have additional questions. Thank you.